So today we are heading down to South Osaka to a nursery called Furukawa Teiju-en. This is not a bonsai nursery, this is a Niwaki nursery. So a garden center that specializes in large garden trees to put into Japanese style gardens. Now, if you guys are familiar with Niwaki and you've kind of delved into this subject very much, you'll probably have come across a book called Niwaki, written by a fellow from England named Jake Hobson. Well, it turns out that this nursery that we're going to go visit today is actually the nursery where Jake studied years and years ago. So of course, I'm really excited to be going down to visit Furukawa Teiju-en because we're going to be picking out at least one tree, if not several trees, that are going to be going into my garden at Eisei-en, Kyoto. Now, a few weeks back on an episode, I talked about the different species of trees that we're going to be using in our nursery. And one of those was a giant persimmon tree, or a kaki in Japanese. So the garden company that I'm working with, Eisei-en, they actually found a really good kaki down at Furukawa Teiju-en. So we're gonna head down there today and actually look at this tree, walk around the center, which by the way is absolutely enormous apparently, and check out some of the other plants that are there as well. So we've got a long drive ahead of us, a couple hours here on the road. So we're gonna head out of Kyoto and make our way down to South Osaka. Furukawa Teiju-en Nursery is indescribably large, covering the majority of a mountainside and valley in South Osaka along the border with Nara. The Niwaki are brought in from around the country and transplanted up and down the hillsides, interspersed with the natural forest trees and flora. I had the pleasure of being driven around the property by Furukawa-san himself, who heads the operation and oversees a surprisingly small staff that manages the vast nursery. The first stop was to check out the persimmon Sone-san had picked out. In addition to the persimmon, we needed to find an elegant Stewardia for the project. The next order of business was to find a few large Japanese maples to fill out the front and back of the garden.
からちょっとずーっと下まで行ったらもみじばっかりやから。でもこっちはみんな背低いから、
はい。
こうボーっとなってない。まああれ辺は背高いけど。もみじはいろんな種類あるからな。ちょっと大もみじみたいな感じやね。本物色やねでも。
葉っぱもすごい感じなんです。こんなにいっぱいある
あ
な。
あ、はい。
すごいな。まあ、小前さんの方があれかな。
山間も綺麗なんですけど。
大きい。
この方が大きすぎるんですかね。
大きいですね。
それやっぱり大きいねこれ。
All right, so that was an excellent experience getting to visit a true Niwaki production nursery. Now, this particular place specializes more in naturalistic looking trees rather than the highly refined Niwaki or garden trees that you might be thinking of when you think of Japanese style gardens. But for what I want to do at Eisei-en Kyoto, this style of tree here actually fits the atmosphere better. The reason that is because we're going to have highly styled, highly manicured, well-built bonsai, and I want a nice juxtaposition to that with much more naturalistic and realistic looking trees. So the amagaki, or the persimmon that we looked at today, is perfect for the location where we're going to put it. It's a very thin trunk tree but has a very beautiful shape to it, very naturalistic look. And it's already got fruit on it, so we know that it will actually produce fruit. Sometimes when you buy fruiting trees, it's a little hard to tell whether or not those trees are actually going to produce fruit or not, but this one's already got fruit on it, which is great. We also spent a bunch of time looking around at various Japanese maples because I do want quite a few nice big ones in the garden. And this time of year, there aren't really that many options at this nursery. However, in December, we're going to be coming back again and searching for some more because they get a big shipment of new Yamamomiji or Iroha momiji, which are Japanese maples that actually have really good fall color to them. But I did happen to find one Japanese maple today that I think is going to be perfect for the back corner of the nursery. It's this beautiful triple trunk tree right here that when I saw it, I just thought, man, we've got to have that in the garden. Now, Sone-san and her shokunin-san who came with her today, they're a little bit concerned that it might be slightly too big for the garden, but they did say that we can prune it back a little bit to make it fit a bit better. So I said, shape-wise, look-wise, it's exactly what I want. So we went ahead and reserved that tree. But like I said, we're going to be coming back here in December. I'll bring you guys back for that to search for additional plants for the garden. But for right now, we're actually going to head over to Furukawa Teiju-en down in Osaka, or rather up in North Osaka, to check out some of the bonsai. Sone-san and the shokunin-san wanted to see the bonsai there, so we're going to head down that way and check them out. I was surprised to hear from Sone-san that despite being a professional gardener, this was her first time visiting an actual bonsai nursery, and the same was true for her shokunin-san. Both of them were highly interested in the technical aspect of maintaining the bonsai, both horticulturally and aesthetically via wiring and pruning, as well as in seeing the trees that I had purchased for my own nursery back in Kyoto. This visit to Furukawa Teiju-en was also useful for my own garden build, as it gave Sone-san the opportunity to properly measure the benches and stands, and to get a better sense of proportion in sourcing the materials for Eisei-en Kyoto. Stay tuned for future episodes as we break ground on the garden and begin moving the Niwaki from Osaka to Kyoto.